All right, let's get right into it. We're tackling a massive question today. What does the rise of powerful AI actually mean for you and your job? So let's be honest. Is AI coming for your job? Look, if you've been seeing those headlines and feeling a little nervous, you are in good company. This is probably one of the biggest conversations happening in our world right now. And look, this isn't just some vague feeling people have. We've got hard data on this. A big Pew Research poll found that most Americans are bracing for a major impact on jobs. And, well, they think it's mainly going to be negative. So, yeah, the concern is very real. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with what we're calling the great AI anxiety. Then we'll get into why this isn't your grandparents' automation. After that, we'll reframe AI as a coworker, look at the evidence for jobs being gained, not lost, and finally, talk about how we get to choose our own AI future. Okay, first up, the great AI anxiety. To really get a handle on the future, we have to start by understanding the fear. I mean, why does this wave of technology feel so different from everything that's come before?
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. You'd think, right, that the less you know about AI, the more you'd be scared of it. But researchers at Toronto Metropolitan University found this wild paradox. It's the exact opposite. The people who are most familiar with AI are actually the ones who are most worried about their jobs.
And you know what? That anxiety, it's not totally out of nowhere because this generative AI, it's a whole different ballgame compared to the automation we've seen in the past. It's not just another robot on an assembly line. Think about it like this. For a long, long time, automation was all about muscle. Robots doing routine, physical stuff. But generative AI, it's coming for the brain work. The tasks we always thought were uniquely human. Writing, analyzing things, even being creative. And because it's just software, it can spread like wildfire through the apps and browsers we already use every single day. And that's why the jobs feeling the heat this time around aren't the ones on the factory floor. No, look at this list from Brookings. We're talking about white-collar roles, paralegals, bookkeepers, graphic designers, executive assistants. This is a massive, massive shift from anything we've ever seen before. Okay, but here's the pivot. This is so important. What if the whole AI's coming to replace us story is just wrong? Or at least it's not the full picture. What if we start thinking about AI not as a rival, but as a new kind of coworker? And we don't even have to guess. People are already using these tools at work, and look at what they're saying. A whopping 78% feel more productive. Almost 70% say it makes them more creative. They're not seeing a threat, they're seeing a booster pack for their own abilities. And this isn't some far-off future theory. It's happening right now. In customer service, chatbots zap through the easy questions, so the human agents can solve the really tricky problems. In retail, AI manages the boring inventory stuff so staff can actually help customers. It's about letting AI handle the repetitive tasks so we can focus on the work that actually needs a human brain and, a human touch. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. Okay, it's a cool tool, but will it end up creating more jobs than it gets rid of? While the headlines love to scream job loss, the early data, well, it tells a much more hopeful story. I mean, just listen to this. The data suggests that AI adoption is tied to job creation, not job loss. That's huge. It means the fear we all have isn't matching up with what's actually happening on the ground when companies start using these tools. Let's make this even more concrete. Look at this number from Statistics Canada. After bringing in AI, almost 80% of businesses saw, wait for it, no change in their number of employees. And get this, nearly 1 in 5 actually hired more people. So where's this job apocalypse everyone's talking about? It's just not showing up in the numbers. So how does that even work? How does adding a robot lead to hiring more humans? Well, check out this real-world example. A mining company, Rio Tinto, adopts AI. Okay, step 1. But then they have to hire data scientists to run the AI. Then they need new HR people to support those people. And then they have to train everybody else on how to use it. See? One tech decision creates this whole ripple effect of new human jobs. And that brings us to the most important point of all. The future isn't set in stone. It's not something that's just going to happen to us. The kind of impact AI has is going to come down to the choices we all make as people, as companies, as a whole society right now. And this pyramid is a fantastic way to picture what that looks like. It's not about everyone becoming a supercoder.
Not at all. We need a few experts at the top who can build this stuff, sure, but we also need a ton of people in the middle who know how to apply it in their fields. And we need everyone at the bottom to have a basic understanding of it.
And that foundation, that's what we call AI literacy. And it is going to be absolutely essential. Seriously, think of it like this. A few decades ago, you had to learn how to use a computer to do your job. This is just the next version of that. It's a new foundational skill for pretty much everyone. So let's wrap all this up. The question really isn't, is AI going to change my job? The answer to that is yes, it absolutely is. The real question, the better question is, how am I going to use it to build a better one? How can you use this incredible new tool to hand off the boring stuff, to supercharge your best human skills, and to build a career that's more creative, more interesting, and more valuable than ever before?